All right, welcome into the Talk of Champions live stream on YouTube. It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. You can call into the show anytime, 205-686-3604. Got a giveaway today for the fifth caller. Check it out. Got this football right here, commemorative football. It's got the national championship game against Georgia tatted on, along with the schedule of games. So fifth caller, you're going to get this from BamaInsider.com crew. Be sure and like and subscribe on YouTube and check out all our coverage on BamaInsider.com. Want to walk you through kind of position by position today, along with taking your calls at 205-686-3604, and also kind of prep you for what to expect this coming week. So tomorrow, Nick Saban will hold his opening press conference for Louisville. Now, we'll have all that coverage right here at 12 p.m. Central Time on BamaInsider.com. We'll also speak with a couple upperclassmen players, and I'll provide that list on BamaInsider.com. So you got 12 p.m. Nick Saban press conference, player interviews at 1 o'clock, and then Alabama will hold another practice in the afternoon on Monday. Tuesday, we'll also be talking with the players. Wednesday, another media viewing period. And then on Thursday, I'll head out to Orlando with Tony Tsoukalas, who's our team writer, and we'll be in Orlando for the weekend, come back and, get it going. I'll also be doing a live show, call-in show on Thursday from Orlando, along with Sunday, our regular scheduled time, which is 10:30 Central Time, kind of to recap the game. We got our first caller in, so let's take it. Here we go. It's Kyle Henderson. Thanks for calling on the show. What you got?
Yes, sir. I just want to talk about the quarterback situation a little
bit. Surprise.
I know that's a huge topic, but I'm getting tired of hearing about our defense is going to be too young to stop Louisville. They're not going to be mature enough, this and that. And with that being said, I think they're going to start Jalen. I think they're going to prove a point. Nick Saban's going to put Jalen in there and let his defense struggle a little bit. I think it'll be a good learning curve for his defense.
Do you have any worries going into this game about the secondary? I mean, you got a new secondary coach, completely new set of secondary players. Any concerns in that regard? Because Louisville does have a talented receiving corps.
Yeah, Louisville is stacked at receiver, in my opinion. I mean, they have some studs on the outside, but we're still talking about Alabama and Nick Saban. I mean, his defensive backs, that's his cup of tea right there. I really feel like those guys are being doubted, and anytime Alabama's doubted, they come out and show out. We all know that.
I think you're right. Good call. So, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name's Dalton Ellenberg, and I'm calling from Clemson.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for the call, buddy.
All right. Yes, sir.
You can call into the show anytime, 205-686-3604. Always taking your calls. And if you're out there and you're a business owner and you want to sponsor the call line, that would be greatly appreciated. You can email me at kyle@BamaInsider.com for more information. So let's talk about these quarterbacks. I'm going to play a clip of the quarterbacks right now. You got Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts. Now, each quarterback, actually, we got another call in. So before we jump into quarterback talk, I'm sure this caller will want to talk about the quarterbacks, I'm guessing. Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson. What's your name and where you from?
Hey, man, this is Darius from Birmingham.
What you got, Darius?
I know a lot of people call about the quarterbacks, but I want to talk about the secondary, man.
Thank you. Let's talk the secondary. Right. What are you thinking, man? Right.
Yeah, man, I just want to know. I know probably Thompson has his spot, but I want to know about the McDonald kid and the McKinney kid and Diggs and Savion Smith and, just who's gonna pretty much be back there starting, that first game versus Louisville.
Yeah, I appreciate the call. Thank you for calling in from Birmingham. By the way, Birmingham's a really nice city. I love to go out there with my family. It's nice. So what we have at the secondary position for right now, the cornerback position, it's going to be interesting to see what happens during this week because Trayvon Diggs was not wearing cleats yesterday during our media viewing period, and obviously he's a returning guy. You also have Xavier McKinney back at the safety position. Deontay Thompson should be one of the key players. Also look for Jared Maiden and Savion Smith, the junior college transfer, and look for potentially Patrick Surtain to get his feet wet against Louisville. He's the 5-star freshman out of Florida. So a lot of secondary, question marks going into this game. They also have a new secondary coach in Carl Scott, who replaces Derek Ansley. So a lot of question marks. Are you a little bit concerned in that regard just because Louisville does have a talented receiving bunch?
Yeah, the Fitzpatrick kid was talking noise, man. So
Yeah, he
I
was.
want to know. Yeah, so hopefully we can lock him down, man, because he was talking some smack, man.
Hey, I appreciate the call. Thanks for calling in, buddy.
All right, thanks, bro.
All right, call into the show anytime, 205-686-3604. Leading off the show with the quarterbacks, and you know that we have Tua and we have Jalen, and Nick Saban has yet to name a starter for this opening game against Louisville. Now, does it matter which quarterback starts? Probably not, but which quarterback is going to have more reps and which quarterback is going to shine in week one against Louisville? Here are the quarterbacks, and I'll play this clip for you guys. Then I'll field your calls on the BamaInsider.com line. Here's Tua Tagovailoa as a sophomore. Very productive during fall training camp. I mean, he's been spinning it out. Jalen Hurts, 26-2 as a starter. Really good game manager. And it looks like he's improved from what we've seen in training camp on his deep ball. There's Mac Jones also. He's a quarterback that no one really talks about, but Mac Jones, very good quarterback as well. He'll be a redshirt freshman this season. And, Nick Saban has yet to name the starter. I doubt he'll name it during his Monday press conference, but I think you're going to see a two-platoon quarterback system against Louisville, and I think that's concerning if you're Louisville's defensive coordinator. I mean, you have Tua, who can obviously spin it with the best of them, and then you have Jalen, who has the wheels and who's that dual threat type of quarterback who can really make it difficult for any type of defense to prepare for either of those quarterbacks. And then obviously you have this, the entire backfield of Alabama to worry about. So maybe it doesn't matter who starts at quarterback, but no quarterback has been named as of yet. Remember, Nick Saban's press conference tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Time. We'll have that right here on BamaInsider.com. Feel free to call into the show, 205-686-3604. Giving away a promotional item today to the fifth caller. You will be hooked up with this commemorative football. It's got Alabama and Georgia score on one side, and then it's got the entire schedule on the other. Try to line that up for you guys in the frame. Kyle Henderson, all our coverage back on BamaInsider.com. Tomorrow we're actually running a promo. If you want to sign up for an annual subscription, you can get that half off. That's a big deal and perfect time to strike. That'll last all next week while supplies last. So if you guys want to sign up for the premium information, be sure and sign up at BamaInsider.com. Call on the show, 205-686-3604, talking about Alabama, just position by position. Here are the running backs. And, it's let me switch this up for you guys. Obviously, Alabama has, some of the best running backs in the country. Damian Harris is a guy that a lot of people nationally don't talk about enough, in my opinion. I think he has everything you want in Alabama's running back. He has a chance to be one of Alabama's first running backs to ever rush for 1,000 yards in 3 consecutive seasons. There he is, number 34. You also have Najee Harris, and I know Najee Harris was a little bit banged up, but he looks good to go. We saw him yesterday during the media viewing period. There's Brian Robinson right here out of Tuscaloosa, out of Hillcrest High School. He's a big, imposing back. And, this is Ronnie Clark. He's a senior year. I don't know how much Ronnie Clark will be used, but he's very talented, and I know Nick Saban likes him a lot. That's Jerome Ford right there, number 27, true freshman for Alabama, and a guy who's looked good at early on. I would suspect that he redshirts, though, just because Alabama has plenty of depth at the running back position. Damian Harris, a guy that is really the team leader for this program, and I think he's due for a monster season. He's extremely fast, good cuts up and down the field, and Alabama does have also a new running backs coach. That is Joe Panunzio. He's been with the program for a long time, but doing his thing. I really like the energy that Joe Panunzio brings, and you can catch more of him on our YouTube channel. Coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Looks like we got another call on the show. Take that right now. Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, Cal, this is Norwood calling from Memphis, man. How's it going?
Man, you continue to bring the heat, man. I love the call in from Memphis. What you got today?
Man, I was just looking at you, and you was talking about the running backs there. And I want to give a shout-out to the little kid from Oklahoma, Josh Jacobs. He is a fire plug, man, and they need to get him the football 10 to 15 times a game. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Josh Jacobs, I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, he's looked incredible this fall camp. Dealt with a couple injuries last season, and this go round, I mean, he looks incredible. And I think he's a running back that has everything: speed, power, agility, elusiveness, and the more times that he gets the football, the better. I think you're going to see a big splash from him against Louisville, and he's just such a dangerous back. And I think you can kind of tell from his body language recently that he's just feeling good. He's amped up. You can't go wrong with Damien Harris, Najee Harris, Josh Jacobs, or Brian Robinson. Any of those running backs going to bring the heat. What else you got going into this Louisville game? Any kind of question marks for you right now?
Man, there are no question marks with this team. Well, there's one. Those kids need game time experience. Other than that, man, I think that group is loaded and ready to make a deep run again. I want to send out a shout out to my little homeboy, Josh McMillan. He's working with the second team, stack backer.
Yep.
And I just hope he can get on the field this year, man.
Yeah, thanks. So I appreciate the call from Memphis. Be sure and call in Thursday night. I'm going to have another call-in show. That show will be based off kind of a final game assessment, and we'll also take some call game projections. So be sure and call in again Thursday night.
Okay, man, absolutely. I enjoy it.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the call-in.
Uh-huh.
Kyle Henderson coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Hope you're having a beautiful Sunday with your family, and thanks for joining into the program. I know I'm so excited for this coming week to finally see Alabama take on Louisville. It seems like it's been a long summer, but you know what's interesting is Alabama is actually 2-0 already in the 2018 year. Isn't that strange? I mean, they defeated Clemson and they defeated Georgia. That was all this year, if you can believe that, right? So Alabama really the only team that's undefeated going into the year already with a 2-0 record. And by the way, they are a 22.5 favorite against Louisville down in Orlando. Tony Tsoukalas and myself will be in Orlando bringing you the coverage. We'll have a prediction show from Orlando Thursday night. Friday we'll have some good content on the site, and then on Saturday it's go time. Alabama versus Louisville. Feel free to call into the show anytime, 205-686-3604. We're talking about Alabama, just kind of going position by position. Next up, the wide receivers. And the wide receivers for Alabama, they're young, but they are talented. One of the most talented groups in the country. Let me line that clip up for you guys. And show that's playing for you guys right here. So you got Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Smith, all sophomores and all saw plenty of playing time last year. Jerry Jeudy, we got a chance to talk with those receivers just recently, and it was really interesting to see what they had to say. Just a bunch of humble guys, young men, and you would suspect sophomores being a little bit sophomoric, but we didn't see anything of that nature from these guys. I mean, Henry Ruggs, right out of the home state of Alabama. It was a touchdown machine last year. Jerry Jeudy told us he models his game after Amari Cooper, but he's very similar to Calvin Ridley. Here are some more clips of the wide receivers actually working on some blocking drills with new wide receivers coach Josh Gaddis, who's been doing a really great job with these young guys. And then you have Devontae Smith, and I asked him straight up, "Hey, Devontae, has your life changed since catching that game winner?" And he said, nope. He's humble pie. He's like, we won the game, on to the next thing. And these young guys, it's going to be really exciting to see what they can do during the 2018 year, especially, with Tua back there, being that those guys just already seem to have such a good connection. Here's Henry Ruggs up next. And another guy, obviously, to watch from the freshman group is Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle reportedly caught a couple touchdowns in their last scrimmage, and he's a very elusive player and one guy who could certainly make a splash early on for Alabama. Feel free to call into the show, 205-686-3604, coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, talking about Alabama position by position after fall camp next tomorrow, Monday, August 27th, Nick Saban's press conference to open up the week against Louisville. Alabama enters as a 22.5 favorite against the Cardinals. The game is in Orlando on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. All that coverage throughout the week will be on BamaInsider.com. Next up, talk about the offensive line. Really exceptional group for Alabama, and you're going to see Jonah Williams leading Alabama's offensive line unit at left tackle, and then you're going to have Lester Cotton, a guy who's extremely talented, At the guard position, you have Ross Piersbacher taking over at the center position for Bradley Bozeman. And then on the outside, you're going to have Alex Leatherwood along with Jedrick Wills. We've seen the team experiment with those two players at the tackle and guard position in regards to the young freshmen, sophomores. Both Jedrick Wills and Alex Leatherwood, two very talented sophomores. I mean, just think about the sophomores from Alabama this season that saw plenty of time last season. That's just how deep Alabama is in that sophomore group. I mean, the sophomore group's probably the best sophomore group in the entire country. And it should be really exciting to see what they can bring, not only this season, but next season. I mean, you're talking about a championship caliber team this year and next year. I mean, you know how Alabama does it. So a very talented offensive line unit, a lot of experience. Keep your eye on Jonah Williams. I think he's probably, got NFL written all over him. And Ross Piersbacher, we continue to see good leadership from him as well. Call into the show anytime, 205-686-3604. When you call in, it's great to get your name, where you're from, and then we can go forward from there. We're kind of talking all sorts of things right now regarding Alabama football, just position by position as we close out fall training camp and dive into the first game of the season. Last night, the New Mexico State Aggies and Wyoming played. I don't know if you guys know, but I went to New Mexico State, and it's a complete opposite of what, where I live now in terms of championship country. Wyoming defeated the New Mexico State Aggies in the opener 29-7. Still got to roll Aggies, though. Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. Call into the show, 205-686-3604 anytime. Next up, we're talking about the Alabama defensive line unit and a group that is really exceptional from top to bottom. Let me line that clip up for you guys. So leading the group is, in this particular clip, is Isaiah Buggs. He's a junior college transfer, saw plenty of time last year. Saban really likes what he's seen from him, worked on his athleticism, his endurance, and you could just see him at practice. I think he's one of the true alpha males on this team. Look at that footwork that he has. Look how he hits the bags. I mean, it's pretty incredible to see what Isaiah Buggs has done. Following him is Raekwon Davis at 6'7", 315 pounds, and then Quentin Williams right there as at the defensive tackle position. He has some big shoes to fulfill, taking over for Daron Payne. Number 95 is Johnny Dwight. He missed a couple practices, or at least the viewing period this week, but I don't think there's anything to be too concerned about. And then you got Fedarius Mathis right here, number 48. Looks like he's had a pretty good fall camp as well. Here's another junior college transfer, number 91. And then you have number 58 right here is Christian Barmore, a freshman out of Baltimore. And we've seen him be a little bit up and down this year. But I think with the upperclassmen, you're really going to see a talented group that can really get after the quarterback. Raekwon Davis last year had 8.5 sacks, which is pretty incredible, and I believe he had over 60 tackles on the team. Isaiah Buggs and Raekwon Davis should be a very dangerous duo for Alabama in 2018. Call in the show anytime, 205-686-3604. Want to get your call, want to get what you're talking about on BamaInsider.com. Tomorrow we're running a promo. Sign up for a year, get 50% off. The promo details will be on BamaInsider.com if you're curious to be a premium subscriber to BamaInsider.com. Just a couple days away. I can't finally believe the college football season is already here. And Louisville was doing a little bit of talking. You can find that clip on BamaInsider.com. Fitzpatrick, wide receiver, going, talking that they have the complete edge 1,000%, he said, against Alabama's secondary. So that's kind of one of the main question marks I think everybody has is surrounding the secondary unit for Alabama. We'll get to them in just a second. Let me bring up the clip of the outside linebackers, a group that you're probably really excited about as well, led by Tosh Lapoy, who is the first-year defensive coordinator. And actually, before we play that, let's take our call real quick. Hey, it's Kyle Henderson. Turn your computer down before we take the call.
Gotcha, Kyle. What's happening with you, man?
What's up, man? What's your name? Where are you from?
Scott, calling from Dothan, Alabama.
I appreciate the call. How's it going today?
Hey, going great, man. So quick question for you, being that you've been up there and seen the practices, what player, what storyline other than the quarterbacks has really stood out to you so far throughout this campus or practice?
Yeah, I appreciate the call. I think a lot of people still. I think we lost our caller, but I'll continue. One of the main storylines is the inside linebacker lack of depth. You've had Keith Holcomb just focus on baseball. Vidarius Cohen got released from the program for breaking team rules. So you have Mac Wilson, then you have Dylan Moses. And then after that, there's a lot of question marks. You have Markel Benton, Joshua McMillan, two guys who, really haven't seen the field quite yet. So I think question marks do remain along this inside linebacker position. And I think a lot of people are curious even if Ben Davis is going to play this year. I think Mac Wilson is exceptional. Saban expects a really big year for him. Let's take this call. It's Kyle Henderson. We lost the call again. Anyways, I think a lot of people fail to realize just how good Dylan Moses is. Dylan Moses, sometimes I look towards him. He's wearing number 32, and he looks like Rashaan Evans. Honestly, he's that good. And he's only a sophomore, got his feet wet last year. He had 10 tackles, I believe, against Mercer, and then he followed that game up with, I think, 11 tackles against Auburn, something like that. Very mature, and I think you're going to see big things from Dylan Moses. If those guys can stay healthy at the inside linebacker position, they should hold it down. But you had Chris Allen go down with the ACL. You had Terrell Lewis go down with the ACL. Lewis, obviously, outside linebacker. So there's been some key injuries and some key departures at the linebacker position. And a lot of people really aren't talking about that. But that's an area of concern right now is depth going into this year. And as Saban said, they don't just bleep another player out every time somebody gets hurt. Call in anytime to the show, 205-686-3604. We lost our last caller, so my apologies on that. Here's a clip of the outside linebackers and working with Tosh Lapoy.
Shit, right, left, bam. Here we go, C-Mel, on movement. All right, 3-point.
Christian Miller is a guy that
Shot. Watch the veteran.
People are really excited about. I think he's a guy who can really get after the quarterback. This is Jamie Mosley right here. He was a little banged up, I guess, during fall camp, but he should be good to go. But Christian Miller is a guy who really is a class act and graduate of Alabama already, pursuing his master's degree. Here's Ben Davis. He's worked with the inside linebackers and the outside linebackers. I think they're just trying to figure out a way to get him on the field. This is Jerez Parks right here. He was believe it was a gray shirt, and now he has an opportunity to contribute this year. That's Iabi Anoma, the 5-star, who people are really excited about, and this is another 4-star. This is Cameron Latu, who's also looked good. So you have plenty of depth at the outside linebacker position, and those guys work hand in hand with Tosh. Tosh does an exceptional job with the outside linebackers. I love his energy, and a lot of people just continue to love what he brings to Alabama. It's pretty incredible that Tosh is I believe he's like 37, 36 years old. So defensive coordinator at Alabama speaks volumes about his knowledge of the defense, and he's being mentored by Saban. Call into the show anytime. We're talking Alabama football, what we learned from fall camp. 205-686-3604. We will have Nick Saban's press conference tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Time. Some takeaways immediately following that, and then Alabama will have their first Monday practice going into Louisville. Let's talk about the inside linebackers. I know I was talking about them a little bit during our last caller, and let me line that up for you guys. So you have Mac Wilson, who will be Alabama's signal caller. There he is working with new defensive linebackers coach Pete Golding. Got a call in, so let me switch this up. Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson.
Hey, Kyle.
How's it going? Where are you from?
Tuscumbia.
And your name?
Brian.
All right. What you got for me today, Brian?
I was just wondering, I know everybody wants to talk about the quarterback. I think we've had a bunch of Jalen's over the years. And now that we got two, I think he's definitely the man. But Jalen's a great athlete. Have you heard any chance of him changing positions? Because I really think for him to get to the next level, that's what it's going to take.
No, first of all, I appreciate the call. And by the way, you're caller number 5, so you will get this football. Email me at kyle@bamainsider.com after. It's a commemorative football. This was going out to our 5th caller, so you have just comped this from bamainsider.com. I don't think Jalen's going to play any other position than quarterback. I think he's pretty dead set on being a quarterback. I think he wants to be a quarterback. Sure, he's athletic enough to potentially play another position, but I think he wants to play quarterback. I think his dad's comments earlier this year, pretty straightforward that he wants to be a quarterback, and I don't see him changing positions in the slightest.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. I hope the best for him.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Be sure and email me at kyle@bamainsider.com so I can send you that football.
Thanks, Kyle.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the calls today. Appreciate it. 205-686-3604. Let me switch back to that inside linebacker clip. That's Dylan Moses, number 32, and he'll be a sophomore this year, and a lot of people expect big things from him. This is Markel Benton. I believe he's out of Phoenix City in Alabama. Spoke with him last year. Joshua McMillan right here. So, there's guys at the inside linebackers position, but it's just this is Jalen Moody, freshman. There's guys. It's just a lot of unproven guys besides Mac Wilson and Dylan Moses. So I think the linebacker concerns are something that people should be concerned about. Here's Ali Cahoe, the other freshman who was at Washington. He's a great in terms of just his body movement. He's referring to Cahoe. He kind of looks like a safety. He probably needs to put on more weight if he wants to be inside linebacker. But the inside linebackers, there's guys there. It's just not a lot of talent, not a lot of depth, I should say, at that position. But there is talent, especially with the first team guys. Kyle Henderson coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 205-686-3604, taking your calls on the line. And we continue to move forward with the program, talking about Alabama football, each position going into Louisville week, kind of putting a close on fall training camp. And if you guys have any questions, now is a good time to call in right now as we continue to walk through the show. Let's go. Let's continue to move forward and talk about this secondary unit. Let me frame that up for you guys. All right. As you know, Alabama returns nobody in the secondary unit. There's a couple guys who have experience, but Shaheem Carter, I think he's one guy that, he's had a big fall camp, and a lot of people are excited about him. In the backfield, you also have Deontay Thompson and Xavier McKinney. Let's pause this and cut to this call real quick. Hello, it's Kyle Henderson. What's your name and where are you from?
Anthony Sanders. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, but I'm currently residing in Lansing, Michigan.
Oh, good. I appreciate the call from the Midwest. I love Chicago, by the way. So what you got for us today?
My question to you is, we've heard you talk about the quarterback and how easy Alabama's schedule can be this year. I want to know, what is the one game that you have circled on the calendar that could be like a potential maybe trip-up game or a loss?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for the call. I have 3 games actually circled, if you want to know. And I just wrote a story on this yesterday that you can read on BamaInsider.com. Watch for that Ole Miss game. Ole Miss has a dangerous wide receiver unit. I don't know if they're going to be able to replace a quarterback like they had last year, but that receiving unit is dangerous. The game is in Oxford. This is a young secondary group with not a lot of experience. It's the first game that I have circled. The second game that I had circled is LSU. Games on the road in Baton Rouge. It's going to be tough. Tough environment. Alabama, LSU, similar built type teams. Ed Orgeron, probably coaching for his job in that game, to be honest, needs to beat Nick Saban at least once to hang on with the Tigers. And then the other game that I have circled is obviously the Iron Bowl game. Auburn coming to Tuscaloosa. Now, that's going to be right around Thanksgiving, as it always is. Who knows what's going to happen during that game? I mean, you just cannot say what's going to happen. It's the Iron Bowl. Last year, Alabama went down to Auburn all season long. Alabama was imposing on every single team. Auburn, I had never seen a team dominate Alabama like Auburn did. Got Jared Stidham coming back at quarterback. Nobody talks about him. They're talking about Tua and Jalen. Jared Stidham is an incredible quarterback, and they got the running backs returning. They got a good defensive unit. Gus Malzahn, those guys are coming into Tuscaloosa. So those are the 3 games that I certainly have circled on my calendar. You got anything else before I let you go?
No, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate the call. Thanks, man. Yeah, so those are the games that I have circled, honestly. 3 games, and obviously Alabama's favored against everybody this year going in, according to Vegas. But those are the teams that, could potentially pose problems for Alabama throughout the season. Let's get back to the secondary. Shaheem Carter, certainly a guy who's made waves this fall camp. Deontay Thompson should be a ball hawk in the secondary. We saw splashes of him in the national championship game. Really like his demeanor and poise that he showed during fall camp. Got another call. Here's Xavier McKinney, a guy that a lot of people are also excited about. What's going on? It's Kyle Henderson. Where are you calling from?
From Tennessee.
And what's your name?
Michael.
What you got, Michael?
Good, man. How are you, Kyle?
I'm doing great. Thanks for the call. By the way, I really, since I moved to the Southeast, I've traveled a couple places. I really love the state of Tennessee. Went up to Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and really like that area. But thanks for the call. What you got for us today?
Well, I was going to ask you, Kyle. I mean, we've always had, like, good defenses, But, I mean, I know this year we have, like, young defensive back and, most players are talented, but we don't know what they can do until they play. So, I mean, based on that, do you think that we need a game manager? Because I know everybody says Jalen can manage the game. Or do you think we need to score more points, to keep up with people, which I think Tua can do better?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think depending on the situation, let's say that Alabama gets into a shootout, you want Tua at the helm, right? Just because he does have he's obviously the better passer out of the 2, and he can, make the downfield reads. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how Nick Saban manages this 2 quarterback platoon moving forward, at least in the first couple games. And let's say, like I was talking about earlier, let's say they do get in a shootout in Ole Miss. Do you really want a game manager back there? Probably not. You want a guy who's able to sling it out, spin it around. But with that said, a guy who passes downfield more, makes more plays, is going to be more interception prone. Now, last year, Jalen Hurts was through 17 touchdowns, just 1 interception. That probably tells us that he's not taking a lot of chances downfield. So you could potentially see, depending on the game, Nick Saban play Tua here and Nick Saban play Jalen there. But I appreciate the call. Thanks for calling in, buddy. Kyle Henderson, who are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Well, I'm Casey. I'm calling from San Antonio, Texas, but I was born in Talladega in Lincoln, Alabama.
Oh, I appreciate it. Okay, cool. So what you got for us today?
Okay, I want to get to this quarterback situation.
Okay, let's go.
This is what's killing me. Saban says he plays the best player. Doesn't matter what the position is.
Correct.
Right? And when we look at the plays of Jalen Hurts from last year and the previous season, you can see that the wide receivers, they were frustrated because he couldn't get the ball to them. Okay? Especially on the mid-range and deep-range balls. He just couldn't get it to them. And we also know that in practice, based upon the reporters, that Tua seems to be the better player even in practice, and that the receivers prefer him. So I just want to know from you, why is it that Tua didn't start more last year, and why do we really have this quarterback competition this year when Tua seems to be the better player?
Yeah, well, I appreciate the call. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, I think it came to the boiling point last year towards the end of the season where Nick Saban was really toying around with just, subbing out Jalen and putting Tua in. As he mentioned to ESPN, he was, I think, was he like 50 of 54 during 1 week of practice against the ones. So it's an interesting question. With that said, I mean, Jalen continued to win games at Alabama, but right now, I mean, I think it's to a point where you do have to play the better quarterback. But it's what makes it such a dilemma is Jalen has continued to propel this team on the field, and they've continued to win under Jalen besides that national championship game. So it's going to be really and Auburn, which Auburn just ate Alabama up. So the better player, you got to go with Tua, and it'll be interesting to see what Nick Saban does in terms of the starter coming Saturday. Anything else before I let you go?
No, that's it, Kyle. Great talking to you, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for calling in.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you can call into the show anytime, 205-686-3604. Let's continue wrapping up with that secondary group before we take another call. Xavier McKinney right there, another safety for Alabama that I think a lot of people expect big things from. But like I said earlier in the program, I mean, no Minka Fitzpatrick, no Ronnie Harrison, no Tony Brown, no Levi Wallace, a completely new group. Daniel Wright, I think he's a guy who could certainly turn heads this year, along with who we got here. As Jared made it, I think is coming up here. I think he's a guy that a lot of people haven't talked about, but I think Jared made it, and I like what I've seen from him so far. Didn't haul in that one though. Let's see. Kyle Henderson coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 205-686-3604. We don't have any footage of the kickers because at the media viewing period, there's no we never see the kickers or the punchers. They literally walk past us and then they go to who knows where. I'm not sure exactly, what the kickers do during practice, but we do have a kicking battle somewhat. You have Austin Jones, who's a transfer in from Temple. Supposedly his range is 50 plus, and then you have Joseph Bolivas, and both of those guys will be, fighting for that position. And from what we've heard Saban say, it'll kind of be situational based off which kicker they use. And then at the punter position, I'm concerned about the punter position because J.K. Scott, I hope you guys didn't take J.K. Scott for granted. That guy was incredible. Smartest guy probably that's ever been a part of Alabama's program. Did you see that clip on YouTube of him solving that Rubik's Cube under a minute? I mean, come on, who does that? Plus, he was a 4-year starter. He's doing great things with the Green Bay Packers. So you have replacing him is Skylar DeLong, who's never even played a college football game. That's a little concerning, in my opinion. Special teams, no margin for error with the special teams, especially when you're competing at the highest level. Take a couple more calls, 205-686-3604. I'm also checking the chat down here on the live stream. So thank you so much for joining us today. I sincerely appreciate it. I hope you have a good rest of your Sunday. And again, tomorrow it all starts with Nick Saban's press conference at 12 p.m. Central Time. We'll also talk to some upperclassmen, and we'll have all those interviews back on our YouTube channel. Be sure and give us a like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. And we appreciate all the feedback on in the comments area. We want to provide a good product for you guys. Let me know about the time too, because I like that Sunday 10:30 window, so we can have a show and then we can kind of let everything marinate, and then we can go about our day and get ready for the next week, because I know everybody wants to spend time with their family, including myself. As I always say towards the end of the show, if you're a member of the United States military, thank you so much for your service. We greatly appreciate it. It's an honor to live in this great country and to be able to talk Alabama football with you. And leave the lines open for a couple more minutes before I bounce out. When I do end the show, you could still call in and you just leave me a voicemail, 205-686-3604. I'll usually, if it's a good call, I'll spin it out and put it up on the YouTube channel. And you guys, anything you guys want to do, you guys can call in and leave me a voicemail. Thursday night, kind of to give you a quick schedule of what's to come. I know I said it earlier on the show. Monday, Nick Saban press conference. That'll be at 12 p.m. Central Time. We'll also talk to some players. There'll be a media viewing. Tuesday, kind of a similar schedule minus Nick Saban. Nick Saban, again, will speak on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time. And that's a good presser to get ready for because he's usually fired up. He comes right hot off practice. So it's close to game week, and we'll have that as well on Bama Insider. Thursday, we'll be in Orlando. Friday in Orlando. Saturday, game coverage right here on BamaInsider.com. And then Sunday at 10:30, I will do another live show from Orlando. And I'll probably I'm going to mess around with a live show on Thursday each week as well in the evening time. And that'll kind of be a prediction show. So I want you guys to call in and tell me your game predictions and kind of get a couple more thoughts. That'll be a Thursday show. And then Sunday at 10:30, we'll do our regular scheduled show. Thanks for joining in. I'll leave the lines for just open for a few more minutes, and then I'll close it out, and we'll catch you soon. So 205-686-3604 if you guys want to call in. I appreciate the calls. Let's see. There is no quarterback competition. The video is up. Search Jalen Hurts. Jalen will start. Get ready. How about this? Before I go and when I close out the show, if anybody wants to call into the show and leave me a voicemail with your prediction of who Nick Saban will start against Louisville and why. be sure and leave your name and where you're from. So voicemail, recommendations, call in the show, name, where you're from, who Nick Saban will start at quarterback and why, and maybe I'll spin your show out on YouTube. So what time on Thursday? The show Thursday would be 8:30 p.m. Central Time. So I know everybody's from across the country, but that's what I'm looking like doing a show. So you have Nick Saban does a call-in radio show Thursday nights, and he does it at Bomb Hours, which is a wing place here in Tuscaloosa. So I think after that show, I'm going to do 8:30. Also, to be honest, I mean, I'm a father. So Thursday, my kids have gymnastics and soccer. So those are important days for me to be around to watch them and then put them to bed and then jump online with you guys. So that's you guys know how it is. Work is work. Thanks so much for calling in today. I sincerely appreciate all the feedback on the chat. Feel free to oh, good. We got one more caller. Hey, I appreciate you calling in. Where you from and what's your name?
Hey, this is Brandon from Miami, Florida. How you doing?
I appreciate it, man. How's the weather down in Miami?
It's great, man. It's great. It's great.
What you got for me today?
Hurricanes in sight.
What you got, man?
Two things. One thing is I think Tua needs to start for the simple fact that we need to dictate what we do in the offense. Either we're going to take a page from the Dallas Cowboys where we can control the time of possession and kind of limit the time that our defense on the field to allow them to grow and improve their communications, or we're going to go pedal to the metal, we're going to score and make teams one-dimensional so that we know they have to pass, so we'll be better prepared for what they're going to do. And also, I'm kind of worried about Kevin Thibodeau. If you could speak to anything you know about him, I think he's a really Kayvon Thibodeau. He's a really important recruit for us to aid in our pass rush in the coming years. If you heard anything about that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So first off, the quarterback situation, I think you bring up a great point. So you're saying that Alabama just needs to, figure out which way they want to go. But from Nick Saban's perspective, think about this. He can either use that pound the ground style and use Jalen as the game manager, or he can, go lights out, pedal to the metal with Tua at the helm. Now, can Tua do both? Probably. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the first 4 games. Hopefully, Nick Saban says something regarding the quarterback situation on Monday. Now, in terms of Kevin Thibodeau, Andrew Bone, I forgot to mention this on the show. Andrew Bone, who's our recruiting analyst, will have another live show. He's going to have 10 recruiting thoughts tomorrow morning, and then he will have his live recruiting show on Thursday. And during Thursday, he will answer all those recruiting questions, including, some notes on Dax Hill, Kevin Thibodeau, some guys that Alabama still has on their board for the 2019 class. Does that sound good?
Oh, that sounds great.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the call from Miami.
All right, man. Take care.
Take it easy, buddy. Yeah, the quarterback discussion continues to heat up. And like I said, before I end the show, call in, leave a voicemail. Who will Nick Saban start against Louisville, Jalen, or Tua, and why? You can leave that at 205-686-3604. I appreciate all the calls today, all the feedback. It's been great. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday with your family. Be good people out there. Be nice to each other. We'll catch you on BamaInsider.com. All right, we got a call from Oxford, Mississippi. Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson. What's your name and where you from?
This is Alex, man. I'm calling from Batesville, Mississippi.
All right, cool. What you got, man?
Man, I want to talk about the controversy.
Hey,
don't get me wrong. I'm Tua is great, but it's always been position at every position in Alabama.
Hold on, buddy. You're hitting the. We're gonna have to hang up on the call. You're hitting like the buttons on your phone.
I got you. Yeah, I got you.
All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. All right, start over again. Where are you from? What's your name? And then go for it.
This is Alex, man, calling from Oxford, Mississippi.
All right, go.
I'm not an Ole Miss fan. I'm a Bama fan, diehard Bama fan.
All right, go ahead, man.
And I want to talk about the quarterback controversy as well, man. In Alabama, every position has talent behind it. Every position, just like running backs, there's always been Heisman running backs with a talented running back right behind it. It's the same thing this year with our quarterback controversy. Tua is great, and we're really blessed to have him. But Jalen is 26-2. And he's never done anything to put our team in a bad situation. So people are acting like, they're ready to just throw him away. When he's 26-2, he's gotten us to the playoffs every year. And to just throw him back to say, we may be better, that's the wrong way. I think he'll start the season because he's more of a comfortability with your quarterback, and Nick Saban likes it. Now, just like in any game, if he's not playing well, then bench him, turn somebody up, put Tua in. But you don't start the season with benching a man that got you to where you're going, man. That's just wrong. It's just I don't even see why it's a competition or why it's even being discussed. Tua gets in, plays just like he's been doing the rest of the year until Jalen is gone, or until Jalen just proves he can't do the job to put the team forward. But so far he's done it. He only lost 2 games, so I don't understand.
Well, I appreciate the call, man. Thanks for calling in.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, good stuff, guys. All right, I think that's good for today. 205-686-3604. Leave me a voicemail. Who will Nick Saban start and why against Louisville? I will catch you guys Monday on BamaInsider.com, and then we will have another live show Thursday. Oh, lines will not go down. All right, here we go. What's going on? It's Kyle Henderson. What's your name and where are you from?
Hey, this is Coach Parker, one half of the unofficial assistant coaches.
What you
the
got?
guy that's been putting up the videos that got everybody going crazy. We go talk facts or we go talk biased opinions. Let me know right now before I start this conversation.
What you got for me, man? Let it spin. Go for it.
First of all, kill all this talk about 26-2. You got this boy coming in playing with arguably the best defense of all time. Let's just remember that. Our Darius Stewart could have played quarterback last year and got us through the same amount of games. We didn't really need a quarterback, but probably 2 games. Let's be honest. Second of all, I mean, I don't even really I don't know where to start is. I be wanting to ask some of these people if some of these kids if some of these students was your kids, are you sending a 5-star receiver to play with Jalen Hurts right now? Are you sending a 5-star running back to play with Jalen Hurts right now, knowing the defense ain't respecting his arm, and go crowd that box and kill your stats half the season? People keep talking about the freaking 26-2. Bama, people act like he took South Carolina or Vanderbilt to 26-2. Alabama is 26-2 almost any year, especially when we had one of the best defensive packages we ever put together. Now let's look at all the top-ranked teams with Jalen. Top 25 games. No production ever. I don't care about us whipping all these other teams and our defense outscoring teams. When we need a quarterback, we have to be able to push down the field. We run a quarterback sneaks all the way through the 4th quarter. Down double scores and can't move the ball downfield. Down double digits and we having to settle for a quarterback sneaks. It's not on the offensive coordinator. You can't call but the plays that this guy can handle. Quit making excuses for this guy. We done had three NFL offensive coordinators over here, and can't none of them get production out of this guy. And you want to talk about yards. Somebody said, well, he did this many yards the first 2 years. Rewind those. Out of 4,000 yards, over 35 to 3,800 of them was jet sweeps and screen passes. Let's talk about downfield throws. Go and check out those YouTube videos I put up of his passes that me and you sitting here having this debate can make. The throws that Jalen actually make, no disrespect, because I hate having to sit sound like I'm disrespecting him to make the argument for Tua, because it's really no competition. If we take away color, take away the fact that Jalen just was starting because Blake Barnett didn't believe in the process and left, the fact that Jalen Hurts was left and stuck in the starting spot, let's take away that. Because Jalen ain't supposed to get into his 4th or 5th year. He was a project quarterback brought in by Lane Kiffin, who promised to change him to a pro-style passer. But because we was buying time for our real mechanical quarterbacks, we threw him in the fire. You can do that with Jalen. You don't have to wait on him to go through all the progressions and stuff that normal quarterbacks do. We know he'll run where you want him, run him. We can stick him in there and buy time while we get the other quarterbacks ready. And we did that.
I appreciate the call. Let me ask you something real quick. I appreciate the call. This is the fire call. Thank you so much. This is awesome. One thing. So going into this game against Louisville, who will start and what will it mean if Nick Saban starts Jalen Hurts against Louisville? I mean, because potentially that could happen. What would that mean?
I don't really know because I don't go against Saban. This is all I can say. Production wise for the team, it's Tua all day, no question. Take away the color, take away the fact that people just got biased opinion, take away the fact that Jalen has started in a couple of years because we was forced in that situation. Let's just talk about right now. Getting all these 5-stars. We got our receiving core is unfair. It's just as deadly as the running backs, and we'll run first school. But you wouldn't even be able to tell that we're a high caliber wide receiver school because we're doing like 115 yards a game during ranked games. The games that people actually are turning to watch us on TV, although we are we get the best ratings. But the main games, the big games, you don't see no passing yards in those games. Receivers are turning down those left and right. We just lost Justin this year because of this crap. But if Saban starts Jalen because of this imaginary loyalty crap, what's loyalty? It's best person available. That's why you come to Alabama. It ain't no, well, you started last year so you get to finish your career. When does that crap came into play? I never heard of that. And we gonna start it up over Jalen? Yeah, people acting like Jalen finna go start in the NFL for 13 straight years. Get for real. I'm a Jalen fan. I co-sign anything he needs, a car, anything he needs, but not being quarterback at Alabama. Get for real. Whatever he needs. He running for class president, he got my vote. But we talking about actual performance on the number one stage. We are playing rugby football. One-dimensional. You got people calling in talking about what he deserves. What you mean what he deserves? We almost was 0-2 in the national championship waiting on this guy to learn. It ain't his fault. He don't even supposed to be in here. It's just how the cookie crumbled. And now we want to be stuck with a guy that shouldn't even be unveiled to the world yet. But we want to stick with him. When we got an NFL caliber quarterback that this man hit over 8 receivers in one half. Jalen couldn't hit 3 in one. Come on, what is the argument? 21 yards and a half? 57 in his first playoff game against Washington. Thanks, Bo Scarborough. We dead against a Pac-10 team. Clemson, 13 out of 31. Check that percentage out. And out of 131 yards off most of them screen passes and jet sweeps. Clemson came up and played all that to perfection. It's dead. Everybody know how to stop Jalen. Single safety D, cover 3 or cover 1. Everybody else up to stop the run. It's obvious. Now you stop Tua like that. Bring it. Bring him up.
Talking about Tua, what do you like about Tua Tagovailoa?
One he's the truth. We've never had this type arsenal over there. And he got too many weapons. He ain't even got to be great. He can win a championship at Alabama as Greg McElroy. You ain't got to be great. But he's greater than that. This ain't no competition. Only comparison Jalen got to Tua is he can run. Tua can run too. You act like we get another Jay Coker with 2 left legs. I take Jay Coker over Jalen Hurts any day with this offense because it's not about a running quarterback in this offense with this many weapons. Even the tight ends was 5 stars at one point. We can't feed nobody. What are we doing? What is the conversation even about? Nick is only under the pressure to start Jalen because of this imaginary loyalty crap. If you loyal to Alabama fan base, you will start the best player. And that's Tua. It's not even a competition. Both got legs and one don't got an arm. Who got that advantage? I give a crap about who been starting the last 2 years. That's great. Jalen did great for what he could do. When he's just doing what Alabama has, okay, he did it then. And now it's over. There's nothing else to even talk about.
I appreciate the call. Thank you so much for calling in. Please call again next time. I mean, the ratings are off the charts when you call. You're bringing the heat. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for the call in. Have a great Sunday.
Hey, thank you, bro.
Hey, see you, man. Yo, was that fire? All right. Thank you so much for joining the show. Right? I mean, come on. That was it. That's what we're looking for. 205-686-3604. Leave a voicemail. Who will start? Who will Nick Saban start? I can't even talk. I mean, that was lit. All right. Who will Nick Saban start against Louisville? You guys have a good Sunday. I'm out, man. You guys have a good one. All right. Peace.